Hello everyone and welcome to the Complete Sports Update. This is the show with the latest and trending stories in the world of sports. I brought to you. My name is Abib Kuranga and alongside me is James Agburubi. Together we shall be taking through the rounds as far as sporting stories in today's episode is concerned. Welcome to the show, James. And how are you doing today?
Thank you very much, Abib. It's a pleasure.
Absolutely, it's always a pleasure. I think this is going to be the third consecutive edition will be alongside me.
Yes.
Absolutely. No wonder you actually pumped up for this episode. So, the Super Falcons of Nigeria are set for two international friendly matches against the Indomitable Lionesses of Cameroon in the, ahead of their preparations for the Women's Africa Cup of Nations outings in Morocco. So right here on Complete Sports Updates, we will be taking a look at Justin Madugu's side ahead of the two encounters that will be going down live in Ogun State. So James, welcome once more to the show. So the Super Falcons once again are in the news, and this time around is actually the friendly matches they will be playing against the Indomitable Lionesses of Cameroon. So the players are back in camp. They're actually training hard and are currently upbeat as regards to these two matches that they'll be playing against their regional rivals in Cameroon. So what do you have to say about these ladies ahead of these crucial encounters?
Yeah, I'll be a good one for the Super Falcons. It's a good test for them. Cameroon are no small teams when it comes to African women's football. They've gone close to winning the WAFCON in the past, but I mean they have to deal with the Super Falcons in those times when they fail to come out tops. They've stopped the Super Falcons from qualifying for the Olympics. I remember 2012 Olympic, they stopped the Super Falcons. They've been to the World Cup, so they're going to be a good test for the Super Falcons. This is part of the preparation for both teams for the WAFCON that will come up 5th of July.
Yeah.
Before the commencement of the WAFCON, the Super Falcons are going to play against Portugal, all things being equal. So a good one for them. The last time they played a friendly game when they came together, that was November 2024 against France, which they lost 2-1. So it's a good one. They're going to come up with one of the powerhouses of women's football in Africa. They're going to give them a good test. The good thing is it's not just a one-off game, it's a double header.
Yeah.
So if to afford the coaching crew the opportunity to try out players, try out formations, so it's a good one for them, and I am so confident that we are going to see a good outing. And some of the players, the upcoming ones, it's an opportunity for them to let's see what they can do. So let's just hope that we'll see a good game, and at least give good preparations as the team prepares for the WAFCON coming up in Morocco.
Yeah, definitely. So looking at the team list, talk about youth and experience, as well as home-based players, as well as players
foreign-based,
in the outside. So Jennifer Itegini, Tony Payne, Rashida Tajibade, Wale Osinachi,
Francis Odega,
exactly, and Omori Sola Babajide. So these guys, you definitely say these guys have actually been with the setup before, coupled with the new one. So how do you see this blend of youth and experience as regards to this game that will be coming up on Saturday as well as Tuesday?
Yeah, it's a very good mix. I mean, you cannot do away with experience. You need the experienced ones to guide the upcoming ones. No matter how talented they are, you still need those players with experience to see you through. So I believe that's why the coaching crew decided to mix them up. We don't have Oshoala here. I think they have a couple of even Ashley Plumpton is not around, but I think it's a good opportunity to see other young ones, at least give them that feel, that opportunity to test themselves against one of the best sides in African football. So like I said, I'm delighted that they're going to play 2 games. So I mean, what a better way to assess your team than when you see them for the first time, give you the opportunity to sit back and correct some of the mistakes you might have noticed in the first game. You now come out with something different in the next game. So kudos to the NFF. I think they did very well in this one. We've been clamoring for friendly games, and they were able to come up with this one. And like I mentioned earlier, the game against Portugal, I hope there won't be a last-minute change. So at least when you test yourself with some of these top teams outside, I mean, you're only doing yourself a whole wall of good. So like I said, we're looking forward to a good game, and We hope that I'm not really particular about the result. I just want to see a team that we come up with something. Let's see new players, let's see new formations, and because the bigger picture is the WAFCON. That's not too far away again.
Yeah. Definitely, the bigger picture is actually the Women's Africa Cup of Nations, and that will be going down in Morocco sometimes in July. So, we wish the Super Falcons the very best as far as the quest for the exhibition matches as well as the competition proper is concerned. So, James, the Nigerian Premier Football League is 2024-25 season is actually over now, and with so many interesting takes as regards to the season. First, with Remo Stars winning their first ever top flight title, with Rivers United under the tutelage of Finidi George coming second. Emmanuel Amapakabo's side, Abia Warriors coming third, and these three have actually qualified for the continent, and with one slot remaining for the winners between Abakadi KFC as well as Akwa United in the Federations Cup. So coming up, so what do you have to say about these sides as well as the relegated sides, Atlant FC, Sunshine Stars, Lobby Stars, as well as Akwa United? So what do you have to say about the 2024-25 NPFL season in general?
Well, I would like to say it's a good one. We were able to see a new champion. This goes to show that the league is also competitive, because you don't want to always see the big teams always winning it. For a team like Remo to emerge champions, it has been in the making since, because that this is a team that they've been intentional. And they've won it, and it shouldn't come as a surprise. When you see a team that has been building, that has been showing signs. By the time they eventually get the target, it reminds me of Enyimba. I remember when they started off in the early 2000s, when they first got to the continent, they were housed, easily. So they now went back, they strategized, and they won the Champions League back to back. The only Nigerian club side to have achieved that feat. So Remo champions, like I said, good one for them. They've been building, and this is the result. Old timers, Rivers United, they've been around. Abia Warriors with an experience and in Mama. So congratulations to all these teams. But my fear, Abib, is, will this team be able to represent Nigeria well in the continent? Because it has been an abysmal outing year in, year out. The last time the Nigerian team got to the final was 2010. That's like how many years ago? That was Atlant. They got to the final. Since then, our team hardly get to even the semi-finals. They just, the highest they get to is the quarterfinals. And it's like everybody just hands off the Nigerian team. So I don't know. Going into the Champions League, the Conference Cup, I must confess to you, I don't have confidence. Because when you want to compete in the continent, it goes beyond having just talent. There are so many teams involved. You have to be consistent. That was, like I said, that's what Enyimba did. They were consistent. They were always pushing until they got it. But now our team just go there, they play, they get to a certain stage, and they're out. And it's like recycle. We are doing the same thing all over and all over again. It's like, don't be surprised. The players who helped Remo to win the league, you'll be surprised that they have a different set of players in the next season. Because
one of the problems.
I'm telling you, because I think our clubs, what they do is they just want to sell players and make money, and they are not even, it's like they don't even care about the continent.
The sustainability and the continuity.
So for me, Habib, I'm not really looking forward to it. Unless something drastic happens, unless the management decides to say, okay, they want to really go all out for this continental adventure. But like I said, I'm not really keen. Maybe they will surprise us, but let's just wait and see what will happen. But congratulations to the teams that have qualified for the continent. And for the teams that have relegated, the big boys, the Akwa United, Lobby Stars, Atlant coached by Emmanuel Amunike. This is somebody that a lot of people have been clamoring for the Super Eagles job. And his former colleague Finidi qualified for, so I think this has kind of, I don't know whether this has not really helped his CV, his call for maybe taking over the Super Eagles, because it's like a test, and a lot of people want to argue that he didn't pass the test and you are not good enough to handle the Super Eagles. So let's just hope that they will be able to make their way back to the league. But I'm telling you, it's not going to be easy because the NNL is another ball game entirely.
Yeah. Definitely. So as James is actually not optimistic with Nigerian teams playing and representing us well in the continent. Well, yeah, I'm actually optimistic. Yes, maybe James is, but I definitely am one who is very optimistic, most especially with the teams. Daniel Ogumade coaching Remo Stars. The experience is actually building up right there. Ama Pakabo is actually a well-experienced manager. He has seen most of these tournaments, as well as Finidi George, former Super Eagles coach. So definitely the experience also is there. So we believe that the continuity will actually keep this team going, and we believe and hope that the teams representing Nigeria in the continent will definitely make us proud. So James, the National Sports Festival Gateway Games 2024 is actually coming to an end, and what a way to actually start wrapping up things up as far as proceedings is concerned in at the Moshood Abiola Sports Complex. And the final football game was actually played between Kwara United and Team Ogun State, and Team Kwara, as well as against that Team Ogun, which Ogun actually won 4-1 with Remo Stars defender Akinyele right there. Ahmed Akinyele scoring 2 powerful goals right from the set piece. So what do you have to say about the sports festival generally? Not only from the football point of view, but also from sports.
Well, this is our mini Olympics. It has been on for years, and this event that have given Nigeria the opportunity to see talents, from athletics to football to basketball to table tennis, you name it. Is one competition that has helped Nigeria to discover talent, and keeps doing the same thing. I'm telling you, the current Gateway Games going on in Ogun State, it's not going to be any different. We expect a lot of players, a lot of talents to emerge from it. We also have the Flamingos, the Golden Eaglets, who taking part, and I love that idea. I mean, they are not just training. I mean, this is a competitive tournament. They are competing, and they are competing against tough opponents, so it's a good one for them. Delta State, as usual, they are the USA of at some point, Bayelsa, my state, at some point they were, flexing muscles.
But
I mean,
huge.
Delta from nowhere, they just started, churning out the performance.
It's almost 70.
Last time I checked, I think it was like 80 good or something, but the gap is what good one for Bayelsa. I think they show that, I mean, they are an emerging force when it comes to the National Sports Festival. At some point in the past, it was Lagos State dominating. Then it became Delta State, Edo State, but Delta State has been consistent. I'm not surprised, So let's just hope that the talent that we discover here will go on to do well for us at the Olympics, because the last edition it was terrible that we could not even get a single medal at the last Olympics in Paris. So hopefully this Gateway Games will give us the opportunity to discover more talent who will go out there and win laurels for the country.
Definitely. Just like we all know that the National Sports Festival is more like a show for upcoming talents right there in Nigeria to go all the way and represent the country, both at the continental level as well as the global level. And we do wish these young promising athletes the very best as far as their respective career is concerned. So thank you very much, James, for the wonderful and insightful analysis as always on Complex Sports Update.
Thank you very much, Abib. See you next time.
Maybe we'll make it 4 consecutive editions together this time around. So as usual, we're wrapping this up as far as our proceedings in today's episode is concerned. Do take care of yourselves and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye for now.